Superheroes and supervillains have been a thing ever since superheroes' first debut. And in my game about superheroes, which we aren't really that far into, I wanted to incorporate supervillains into a sort of boss fight. But my game is less about being hard and more about feeling very cool. So I have to make sure I have this in the back of my head. So I have two bosses in mind, a beefy ground enemy and one flying enemy that I'm basically trying to replicate the player's powers. So our beefy enemy, we already have ideas from this guy. So I introduced to you Beefcake. He's really big and fat, so I made sure to model him off of a sphere. But I have big plans for his fatness. So I animated some quick attacks. Look, I'm still new to animating this. This is just, don't judge. Now, before I set up the blueprint for Beefcake, I put together a test map for the boss fights, which may not look like much, but check this out. Thank you, Buvesa Game Development, for the incredible work that I stole. But then I put all the models and animations for Beefcake into a blueprint and created some simple AI. Basically, if Beefcake gets close enough to the player, he picks between a barrage of attacks or one big attack that sends the player flying, hopefully into a building. Then after choosing one of these attacks, it'll either choose to select another type of attack or do nothing. So it's possible for him to just attack you forever, but sometimes Beefcake will do this. So to do this, I created an animation for him transforming. I don't think I'll ever be that good at animating. And the rest is history. Beautiful history. So you're basically just waiting around for him to roll, because after he does, he's open for attacks, which has a chance to never happen, making the boss fight pretty much impossible, but that's only like a 50% or so, so basically never. 50, 0, it can't really tell the difference. Now there is a reason this fight is so simple compared to some slightly better boss fights from slightly better games, and that is because this is meant to be the first boss fight you'll ever fight in the main story. So we'll start making the next guy because he will be way better. The first thing I did was model the guy. I wanted to be more human-like while still maintaining the robot essence, and I ended up with this. I'll probably make some revisions to the model, mainly because it sucked, but also I had some issues with rigging the model, but luckily it's all fixed now. Mostly. So I animated him with some flying animations and attack animations, and brought him into Unreal Engine. So the first thing I did was simply make him fly. What the heck? So apparently I don't know how to make an enemy fly. So I scoured the internet looking for answers, and once I got some, I'll use my knowledge as a programmer to create the flight all by myself. As nice as chasing the player in the air, I need there to be a way for the player to attack the enemy, because if my memory serves me correctly, playing an animation in the air for some reason makes the player drop. So I tried fixing the issue and whoa, wait a minute. So apparently I already coded a flying attack for the player a while ago. I guess I just forgot about it. Man, I didn't think memory problems would catch up to me this quickly. Anyway, special thanks to past me, very cool. But this isn't perfect. It feels like there's a delay between when you reach the enemy to when you actually attack. Luckily, you can just fix that by making the animation start at a later point, cutting out this wind-up, which works out pretty well, but why wasn't I using this earlier? You might not be able to tell from this video, but the combat is a lot more snappier and smooth, which is a huge wake-up call. So I guess I just needed a problem before I could fix it. Or I'm just an idiot. Anyway, having the player able to attack the enemy isn't getting us anywhere. So I worked up some AI and ended up with this. Basically, if you're close enough to the enemy, he will just perform regular attacks, which you don't really have to worry about if you just stay far enough away from the enemy. But every 5 seconds, he'll choose between 3 types of attacks. Fly towards the player and do a regular punch. Fly towards the player and do a big punch, which is just a regular punch, but with 2 hands, which is way better than just 1. Also, it launches you into a building. But then, laser finger. Oh crap. That's right, I had laser finger, and because I already did that for the player, it only took me about 10 minutes to make with absolutely no bugs. So this boss fight is much cooler than Beefcake. Well, except for the roll, and that was pretty cool. And because there's no navigation in the air, the AI sometimes just walks right through the buildings, which is super cool. My plan for this guy is throughout the main story, he will kind of learn your powers. Like the first time you fight him, he has flight, but later like electricity or something like that. Let me know any more ideas you have in the comments for bosses or other things in the comments. I said comments twice, I'm sorry. Also,